What is creativity? Can you bring the ghost, creativity, out of the machine, the computer, using the ghost of Charles Darwin? That is, his namesake evolutionary discoveries and his very portrait facade? I tend to look at things in humanistic ways: creativity, expression, artistic depiction. This is why this tool, this computer tool, is really interesting to me. Humans have always used tools to extend our creativity. Perhaps the best known examples of this are musical instruments or the paintbrush. So right at the end of your hand, instead of an instrument or a paintbrush, you have a keyboard and a mouse. And what this allows you to do is take some of the thinking process and put it into the tool. In a way, you can think of the computer as the ultimate open-ended musical instrument or paintbrush, where we can put some of our cognitive stuff into the instrument. There are two basic benefits. One, we're able to learn how to make better creative computational systems. And two, perhaps even more important, we are able to use this work to explore some of the basic questions of human creativity. How are humans creative? Why do humans make portraits? And more. One approach is to have computer systems assist creative people. Although a more interesting approach to me is how we can make these systems creative on their own. Many generative systems are very goal-oriented. They want to make the best antenna or the best circuit board as efficiently as possible. I would call this optimization. But that's not what creative people do. They hear a problem, they think through it, and somehow magically they come up with a different solution that somehow better answers the original question. I would call that exploration. We're trying to do exploration over optimization. What I did with a colleague was look at the mechanisms underlying human creativity and try to develop them into a computational system. We looked at neuroimaging and a lot of theoretical and empirical research to gain insight into what makes someone creative. When creative people are put under MRI scanners, much more of their brain areas are firing at the same time, rather than just one area. They really are being very associative and very wide. The most well-known form of creativity involves this uncensored associative form of thought. But we've also noticed through case studies that artists work within very structured domains. They don't just do everything in a very wide way, they actually follow rules. If you look at many creative forms, you will see that they are very tight and focused and rule-based, like a sonnet or an opera or a symphony. Artists use these rules as a base, but then they depart from it and elaborate upon it. So creativity is not just eliminating the rules in some wide way, but it is also assimilating them and then breaking free where warranted. It is this where warranted that is interesting. Research has shown us that there is a lot of fluidity between creativity being very tight, that is, artists and scientists who are focused so tightly that they don't eat, they don't comb their hair, they don't notice anything other than the problem at hand, and being very wide. When they get stuck, they take a break, step back from the problem, maybe go to the beach, and again go very wide. This is often how creative people achieve that metaphoric aha moment. By going wide, they often are able to answer a very narrow question. We call this fluidity contextual focus, and we've attempted to build it into our system. We can see what this looks like in this chart. In this case, we're trying to use creativity for the creation of portraits. Portraiture is very interesting because it's not just about creating resemblance, which you can see at the narrow top section of this chart, but is also trying to do something wider and more artistic, the art, which we have tried to describe in the wider bottom section with some fuzzy rules of art. So our system is trying to focus on resemblance to Darwin when it goes very tight, but is also looking at the rules of composition, tonality, and color temperature when it goes very wide. The magic, of course, is fluidly moving between both states.